Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Cat, your favorite podcast for relaxing English listening practice. I am Leo.
And I am Mia. We are so happy to have you here with us today. Grab a warm cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's practice English together. How are you doing today, Leo?
I am doing great, Mia. Actually, I am feeling very energized today because I had a very good morning. And that is perfect because today we are talking about a topic that everyone knows very well: morning routines.
Oh, morning routines. That is a wonderful topic. But wait, Leo, you said you are feeling energized because you had a very good morning. Does that mean you are a morning person?
Yes, Mia. I think I am a morning person. I love the early morning. It is so quiet and peaceful. The sun is coming up, the birds are singing, and the world feels brand new. What about you? Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, I am definitely a night owl. A 100% night owl. I love the nighttime. The morning, not so much. Waking up early is the hardest thing in the world for me. In fact, if my alarm clock doesn't ring 5 times, I will not wake up.
5 times? Wow, Mia, that is a lot of alarms. So you are one of those people who hits the snooze button again and again?
Yes, exactly. I hit the snooze button every 10 minutes. My first alarm goes off at 6:30 in the morning. Then I think, just 10 more minutes. Then it rings at 6:40. I think, okay, maybe 5 more minutes. By the time it is 7 o'clock, I am still in bed, looking at the ceiling and wishing I could sleep forever.
That is so funny. It actually sounds a bit stressful to me. For me, when the alarm rings, I just get up. I don't like to wait in bed, because if I stay in bed, I will fall asleep again, and then I will be late for everything.
You have so much discipline, Leo. I really envy that. For me, waking up is like a dramatic movie. Every single day, it is a battle between me and my alarm clock. And usually, the alarm clock wins the first few rounds.
You know, talking about alarms reminds me of a really funny story from my university days. Back then, I had a very important exam. It was at 8 in the morning. I was so afraid of oversleeping. You know that feeling? When you are so worried about waking up that you cannot even sleep well?
Oh, I know that feeling so well. It is the worst. You keep waking up every hour to check the clock, right?
Exactly. So, because I was so worried, I set 3 different alarms. I put one alarm on my phone next to my bed. I put another alarm on an old digital clock across the room on my desk. And the third alarm was on a very loud kitchen timer that I put outside my bedroom door.
Wait, seriously? A kitchen timer outside your door? That is extreme, Leo.
I know, it sounds crazy, but I really needed to pass that exam. So what happened? The next morning, the first alarm on my phone rang. I turned it off in my sleep. I don't even remember doing it. Then the second alarm on my desk went off. It was very loud. In my dream, I thought it was a fire truck. I got up, walked across the room, turned it off, and went right back to bed.
No way! You went back to bed even after walking across the room? That is amazing. So, what about the kitchen timer?
Well, the kitchen timer started making this terrible, high-pitched ringing noise. It sounded like an emergency in a factory. It was so loud that my roommate woke up. He came into my room, completely furious, and threw a pillow at my head. He shouted, "Leo, turn that thing off!" That was the moment I finally woke up. I looked at the clock, and it was 7:45. I had 15 minutes to get to my exam.
Oh no! That sounds terrifying. Did you make it?
I did. I ran out of the house in my pajamas, put a jacket over them, and ran all the way to the university. I arrived exactly at 8 o'clock. My heart was beating so fast. I passed the exam, but I learned a big lesson. More alarms do not always mean you will wake up faster.
That is a hilarious story. See? Even morning people have trouble sometimes. For me, the problem is that my bed feels like a magical place in the morning. It feels so warm, so soft, and so comfortable. The air in the room is cold, but under the blanket, it is perfect. Why is the bed always 10 times more comfortable at 7 in the morning than it is at 10 o'clock at night?
That is one of the great mysteries of life, Mia. I totally understand. There is a scientific word for that feeling of not wanting to get out of bed. It is called clinomania. It means the intense desire to stay in bed.
Clinomania. Wow, I love that word. I think I have a serious case of clinomania every single day. My friends always laugh at me because I have different alarm ringtones for different moods.
Really? Different ringtones? Tell me about that.
Well, my first alarm is very gentle. It plays the sound of soft rain and birds singing. It is supposed to wake me up peacefully. But the problem is, it is too peaceful. It just becomes part of my dream. I dream that I am walking in a beautiful forest.
And then what happens?
Then, 20 minutes later, my final alarm goes off. And that one is terrible. It is a loud, angry, heavy metal song. It scares me so much that I jump out of bed like a cat. It is not a peaceful way to start the day, but it is the only thing that works for a night owl like me.
That is a very intense way to wake up, Mia. Going from a peaceful forest to heavy metal music in 20 minutes? But hey, whatever works for you. Everyone is different, and that is what makes morning routines so interesting. For our listeners out there, what about you? Are you a morning person like me or a night owl like Mia? Do you wake up immediately or do you have 5 alarms? Think about it while we move to the next part of our conversation.
Okay, so after the battle with the alarm clock, we finally get out of bed. For me, this is the most difficult journey of the day. The walk from my bed to the bathroom. It feels like walking 1,000 miles.
I can picture that. You are probably walking with your eyes half closed, bumping into the walls, right?
Yes, exactly. I am like a zombie from a movie. I am moving, but my brain is still fully asleep. The first thing I do when I get to the bathroom is look in the mirror. And oh my goodness, it is not a pretty sight. My hair is messy, pointing in all directions, and my eyes are tiny.
I think we all look a bit like mad scientists in the morning, Mia. Don't worry. You are not alone. For me, the very first thing I do in the bathroom is wash my face with cold water. That is my secret weapon. The moment that cold water hits my skin, boom, my brain turns on. It feels like a shock, but a good shock.
Oh, cold water? Brr, no thank you. I cannot do that. I need warm water. If I use cold water in the morning, I think my body would go into shock. I prefer to wash my face with lukewarm water, very gently. Then I brush my teeth. Brushing my teeth is the first thing that makes me feel like a human being again. The minty flavor of the toothpaste is so refreshing.
Yes, that minty taste definitely helps you wake up. You know, speaking of brushing teeth, I have a confession to make. Sometimes, when I am very sleepy, I do silly things. One time, I walked into the bathroom, grabbed the tube on the sink, put it on my toothbrush, and started brushing. After 3 seconds, I realized something was terribly wrong. It tasted awful, and it didn't bubble at all.
Oh no! What was it? Don't tell me it was hand soap.
Worse, it was my wife's expensive face cream. It was in a tube that looked exactly like the toothpaste tube. It tasted like chemicals and perfume. I had to rinse my mouth for 10 minutes. I was definitely awake after that, but it was not a pleasant experience.
Oh, that is terrible. But honestly, that happens to me too. Not with face cream, but I often put soap on my face towel instead of my hands, or I try to brush my hair with my toothbrush. When the brain is sleepy, it makes the funniest mistakes.
It really does. Another very important part of my early morning habit in the bathroom is drinking water. I always keep a large glass of water on the counter. After I wash my face and brush my teeth, I drink the whole glass. Our bodies lose a lot of water while we sleep, so drinking water first thing in the morning gives you so much energy.
That is a very healthy habit, Leo. I have heard about that before. Doctors say it helps to kickstart your metabolism. I try to do it too, but sometimes I forget. I usually walk straight from the bathroom to the kitchen because my body is crying for one thing and one thing only: caffeine.
We will definitely talk about coffee and tea in a moment, because I know that is a huge topic for both of us. But before we leave the bathroom routine, I want to ask you something. Do you take a shower in the morning or at night? People have very strong opinions about this.
Oh, this is a big debate. I am firmly on team night shower. Because I am so tired in the morning, the thought of taking a shower, washing my hair, drying my hair, it just feels like too much work. I prefer to take a long, hot shower at night before bed. It helps me relax and wash away all the stress of the day. Plus, then my bed stays perfectly clean. What about you?
I am the exact opposite. I am on team morning shower. For me, a morning shower is essential. It is not just about getting clean, it is about waking up my body. I start with warm water, and then for the last 30 seconds, I turn the handle to cold water.
Oh, wow! Cold showers in the morning? You really are a superhero, Leo. That sounds like torture to me.
It feels like torture for the first 3 seconds, I admit. But after that, you feel invincible. It increases your heart rate and gives you a rush of adrenaline. It is better than a double shot of espresso, I promise.
Well, I think I will stick to my espresso. Thank you very much. But it is fascinating how different people are. Some people need that physical shock of cold water, and some people like me need a slow, gentle transition into the day. I think the key is to listen to your body and find what makes you feel good.
I completely agree, Mia. There is no right or wrong way to do a morning routine. The important thing is that it works for you and helps you prepare for the day ahead. If you are a zombie who needs a gentle start, that is perfectly fine. If you are a high-energy person who jumps into a cold shower, that is fine too.
Exactly. So, now that we are washed, brushed, and slightly more awake, I think it is time to talk about the best part of the morning. The part that actually makes me want to get out of bed.
Ah, yes. Food and drinks. Let's head to the kitchen for part 3. Welcome to the kitchen. This is my favorite room in the house, especially in the morning. Leo, I have to ask you the golden question. Coffee or tea?
Oh, that is easy for me. I am a coffee lover through and through. I love everything about coffee. I love the sound of the coffee machine grinding the beans. I love the rich smell that fills the entire house. And of course, I love the taste. I drink my coffee black. No sugar, no milk. Just pure, strong coffee.
Wow, black coffee. You are serious about your caffeine. For me, I am a tea person. I know many people need coffee to wake up, but I find coffee a bit too strong for my stomach in the morning. I love English breakfast tea with a little bit of milk and half a teaspoon of honey. It feels like a warm hug in a mug. It is gentle, sweet, and comforting.
A warm hug in a mug. I love that phrase, Mia. That is beautiful. And you know, tea has a different kind of caffeine. It gives you a calm, focused energy, whereas coffee gives you a quick spike of energy. Sometimes, after my second cup of coffee, my hands start shaking a little bit if I drink it too fast.
See? That is exactly why I stick to tea. I don't need shaking hands while I am trying to type on my computer. But the smell of coffee is amazing, I must admit. Even as a tea drinker, I love the smell of fresh coffee beans. It just smells like productivity.
It really does. Now, let's talk about breakfast. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Are you a big breakfast eater, or do you prefer something small?
I love breakfast food, but I usually don't eat a huge meal immediately after waking up. My stomach needs some time to wake up too. So usually around 8:30, I will have something simple. My go-to breakfast is toasted bread with avocado, a little salt, pepper, and a fried egg on top. It is quick, healthy, and delicious. What about you? Do you cook a big breakfast?
On weekdays, I keep it very simple and consistent. I eat oatmeal every single day. I make it with oats, almond milk, a handful of blueberries, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. It is not the most exciting breakfast in the world, but it is healthy, it fills me up, and I don't have to think about it. That is the best part for me. In the morning, I don't want to make decisions. Eating the same thing every day saves my brain power for later.
That makes a lot of sense. Routine can be very helpful for reducing decision fatigue. But on the weekends, do you change it up?
Oh, Absolutely. On Saturdays and Sundays, the routine changes completely. My family and I make pancakes or waffles. We make scrambled eggs, bacon, fresh fruit juice, the whole experience. We sit at the table for an hour, talking and enjoying the food. Weekday breakfast is for fuel. Weekend breakfast is for pleasure.
Oh, I love that distinction. Fuel versus pleasure. For me, weekend breakfast is always a long affair, too. Sometimes I go out to a local cafe with my friends and order a big brunch. Pancakes with maple syrup, poached eggs on toast, and a big glass of orange juice. It is the best reward after a long week of work.
It really is. Breakfast habits are so interesting because they change so much around the world. Different cultures have such different ideas about what morning food should be. For example, when I traveled to Japan a few years ago, I was so surprised by the traditional breakfast there.
Oh, really? What do they eat for breakfast in Japan?
It is like a full dinner meal for us. They eat steamed rice, miso soup, grilled fish, and various pickled vegetables. At first, seeing fish and soup at 7 in the morning was very strange to my Western brain. I was looking for my cereal or toast. But I tried it, and it was incredible. It felt so clean and nourishing. I didn't feel heavy or tired afterwards at all.
Wow, fish and rice for breakfast. That sounds very healthy. In some European countries, like Italy or France, breakfast is very sweet and simple, right? Just a croissant or a pastry with a quick espresso. They stand at the bar in the cafe, drink their coffee in 30 seconds, eat their pastry, and leave.
Yes, it is a very fast ritual there. It is more about the social interaction and the quick energy boost. It is amazing how one meal can look so completely different depending on where you are in the world.
Definitely. But no matter what you eat, whether it is oatmeal, avocado toast, fish and rice, or just a sweet pastry, I think having a moment to enjoy your food or drink is so important. It separates the night from the day. It is like a small celebration that you survived the night and are ready for a new day.
That is a very beautiful way to look at it, Mia. A small celebration. I like that. For me, that quiet moment when I am sitting with my coffee cup, watching the steam rise, before the emails start coming in, before the telephone starts ringing, that is my favorite 5 minutes of the entire day.
I agree. It is a moment of peace before the chaos begins. And speaking of the day beginning, after breakfast is when we start transitioning into our tasks, our exercises, and our plans. Let's talk about how we prepare our minds and bodies for work in part 4.
All right. We are fed, we have our caffeine, and now we are moving into the active part of the morning. This is where people's routines usually become very different. Mia, let's talk about a bad habit that many of us have. What is the first thing you do after you finish breakfast? Do you check your phone?
Oh, Leo, you are calling me out. Yes, I am guilty of this. I try really hard not to, but almost every day, as soon as I finish my tea, I pick up my phone. I tell myself I will just check the weather, but then I see a notification, then I open Instagram, then I check my emails. before I know it, 20 minutes have passed, and I am still sitting at the kitchen table scrolling through videos of funny cats.
Well, we are the English Cat Channel, so we love cat videos. But I understand what you mean. It is so easy to fall into the scrolling trap. You open the phone for one simple reason, and suddenly you are lost in the internet world.
It is a real problem. It makes my brain feel crowded before the day even starts. I am reading news about the world, looking at what my friends did last night, checking work messages. It is too much information too early. What about you, Leo? Are you disciplined with your phone in the morning?
I used to be terrible at it. I used to check my phone while I was still in bed, with one eye open. It was the very first thing I did. But I noticed that it made me feel anxious and stressed immediately. I was starting my day reacting to other people's lives and problems instead of focusing on my own. So I made a strict rule for myself. No phone screens for the first hour of the day.
Wow, an entire hour? That sounds so difficult. Where do you keep your phone?
I charge my phone in the living room at night, not in my bedroom. That is the only way it works for me. If it is next to my bed, I will pick it up. By keeping it in the living room, I have to physically get up and go find it. That simple barrier helps me avoid using it. Instead of checking my phone, I use that time to plan my day on a physical paper notebook.
A paper notebook? That is very old school, Leo. I like it. What do you write in it?
I write down 3 main things. First, I write down 3 things I am grateful for. It could be something big, like my health, or something small, like the delicious coffee I am drinking. Second, I write down my main goal for the day, the one thing I absolutely must finish. And third, I write a simple to-do list. Writing it down by hand makes it feel real and manageable. It gives me a clear roadmap for the day.
That sounds wonderful. It sounds like it gives you a sense of control over your day, rather than letting the day control you. I need to try that. Instead of writing, my active morning routine involves movement. I try to do some gentle exercise.
Oh, really? What kind of exercise do you do in the morning? Are you a morning runner?
Oh, goodness, no. Running in the morning sounds like a nightmare to me. I admire people who can run at 6 in the morning, but that is not me. I prefer gentle yoga or stretching. I put on some relaxing music, lay down my yoga mat in the living room, and spend about 15 or 20 minutes stretching my muscles. It helps to release all the stiffness from sleeping. It makes me feel flexible and awake.
Yoga is fantastic. It focuses a lot on breathing, right?
Yes, exactly. It is all about connecting your breath with your movement. It feels like a moving meditation. By the time I finish, my body feels light and energized, and my mind feels quiet. It is a much better way to start the day than scrolling through social media, that's for sure.
I totally agree. For me, my morning exercise is walking. I don't run, but I take a brisk 30-minute walk around my neighborhood. I do this right after my breakfast. I love it because I get fresh air and natural sunlight. Scientists say that getting sunlight in your eyes early in the morning helps regulate your sleep cycle. It tells your body, hey, it is daytime, wake up. And then you sleep better at night.
That is so interesting. So your morning walk actually helps you sleep better at night? It is all connected.
Yes, it is a big circle. A good morning leads to a good day, which leads to a good night's sleep, which leads to another good morning.
But let me ask you this, Leo. Do you ever have lazy mornings? Because right now, you sound perfect. You wake up early, you drink water, you take a cold shower, you eat healthy oatmeal, you don't check your phone, and you take a 30-minute walk. Are you secretly a robot?
I promise you, Mia, I am not a robot.
I am very human, and I absolutely have lazy days. Sometimes it is raining heavily outside, or I am just feeling extra tired. On those days, my routine completely flies out the window. I stay in my sweatpants all morning, I eat cereal out of the box, I watch television or play video games, and you know what? That is completely okay.
Oh, thank goodness. I am so glad to hear that. Sometimes we see these videos on the internet of people with these perfect, 5-step, highly productive morning routines, and it makes us feel guilty if we just want to relax.
Oh, the internet productivity trap is real, Mia. We shouldn't feel guilty about being human. The goal of a morning routine is to help you feel good, not to make you feel stressed or guilty. If a strict routine makes you unhappy, then it is not a good routine for you. Flexibility is just as important as discipline.
I love that. Flexibility is just as important as discipline. That is a great lesson. Now that we have discussed the practical sides of the morning, from waking up to exercising, let's move into our final part, where we talk about why all of this matters for our mental health and how our listeners can build their own perfect morning.
Welcome back to the final part of our episode today. We have traveled all the way from the warm comfort of our beds, through the sleepy bathroom mirror, into the kitchen for breakfast, and through our morning activities. Now, Leo, let's talk about the deeper meaning behind all of this. Why do you think people care so much about morning routines?
That is a great question, Mia. I think people care about morning routines because the morning sets the tone for the entire day. Think about it like this. If you start your morning in a rush, you wake up late, you are running around looking for your keys, you spill coffee on your shirt, and you run out the door stressed, that negative, anxious energy stays with you for hours. You will probably feel stressed at work, impatient with your colleagues, and tired.
Yes, I completely agree. It is like a domino effect. One bad event triggers another. But if you start the day with intention, even if it is just 10 minutes of quiet time with a cup of tea, you are creating a shield of calm around yourself. Then, when things get busy or stressful later in the day, you can stay grounded because you started from a place of peace.
Exactly. For me, a morning routine is an act of self-care. It is a way of saying to myself, before I give my time and energy to my boss, to my job, to my emails, or to social media, I am going to give some time to myself. It protects my mental health.
That is so true, especially in our modern world where everyone is always connected and everything moves so fast. Having a small period of time where nothing is expected of you is incredibly valuable. It helps reduce anxiety and builds emotional resilience.
So, Mia, if our listeners want to create a morning routine, but they struggle with it, what advice would you give them? especially since you are a self-proclaimed night owl who has mastered her own version of a morning.
Well, my first piece of advice is very simple. Start small. Don't try to change your whole life in one day. If you usually wake up at 8 o'clock and check your phone immediately, don't try to start waking up at 5 o'clock, running 5 miles and meditating for an hour. You will feel exhausted and give up after 2 days.
Yes, that is a classic mistake. People try to change too much, too fast.
Exactly. Instead, change just one small thing. For example, tomorrow, wake up just 10 minutes earlier than usual. Use those 10 minutes to sit quietly and enjoy your favorite drink without looking at your phone. That's it. Just do that for 1 week. Once that feels easy and natural, you can add another small habit, like stretching for 5 minutes or writing down one thing you are grateful for. Small steps lead to big changes over time.
That is wonderful advice, Mia. My advice would be to focus on how you want to feel, not just what you want to do. Don't create a routine just because a famous billionaire or an internet influencer says it is good. If you hate running, don't run. If you hate cold water, don't take cold showers. Choose activities that bring you joy, comfort, or a sense of peace. Your routine should be unique to you.
Yes, it should be your own personal ritual. And remember, it is okay to change your routine depending on the season or your life circumstances. In the summer, my morning routine is different because it is bright and warm early in the day. I might go sit outside on my balcony. In the winter, when it is dark and freezing outside, my routine is much more cozy. I spend more time under the blankets and drink extra hot tea.
That is beautiful. Listen to nature and listen to your body.
Well, we have talked a lot today, Mia. We shared stories about kitchen timers, face cream mistakes, avocado toast, and the philosophy of mornings. I hope our listeners found this conversation helpful and relaxing.
I hope so too. And remember, everyone, practicing English listening doesn't have to be boring or difficult. By listening to natural, everyday conversations like this one, your brain is learning new words, understanding grammar structures, and becoming more comfortable with the rhythm of English completely naturally. You are doing a fantastic job just by being here and listening to us today.
Yes, you are.
Give yourself a high five for investing time in your English journey today. Before we go, we want to hear from you. What is one thing you always do in the morning? Are you a coffee lover or a tea enthusiast? Let us know in the comments below if you are watching on YouTube. We read all of your comments and love hearing from our English Cat family.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel English Cat, and share it with a friend who is also learning English. It really helps us create more free lessons for you.
Have a wonderful, peaceful day, whether your morning was productive or wonderfully lazy. Stay happy, keep learning, and we will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.